Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklarbro Country, the virus edition, aka the Panty Pots,
AKA two Jews, no harm in kilobros.
aka one side, two goats,
AKA one egg, four legs.
aka one salmon couchy, two fans of Fauci,
AKA two bros, no garden hose. All right, here we go.
aka two blokes who make jokes about hokey folks.
There you go. We're here. We're back from the weekend. I hope you guys are good.
Yeah, I hope you guys at least had a little bit of a break. We are on TikTok. Please join us on TikTok as we put up all sorts of fun things. We might try and chop up the spelling bee episodes, the kids in the spelling bee, just to get that going and put that on TikTok. I think we're experimenting around. We're just seeing what works.
It's fun to find new platforms and put out comedy and make it connect.
I love it. But we're here to give you guys a little bit of a break, 25 minutes of your day, 30 minutes of your day, just to let you breathe for a second. However you do it. People are telling this. Sometimes people do it. They just sit at their computer and they listen to it. Sometimes people do it when they're walking, when they're mowing their lawn.
We love hearing how you guys consume this
Please
podcast.
let us know how it goes, and let's jump into some stories right now.
All right, let's get into it. When people look, I don't know when people are going to learn this concept. All right, it's never good to go onto Facebook angry.
Yeah, it's like driving drunk.
It's going to end your career and maybe your life.
And you'll bring down other people with you. Do you understand that? It's not just going to be you, unintentionally.
Your judgment is impaired
Yeah.
when you're angry, and it's probably already bad when you're getting on Facebook. So when people hit Facebook and start ranting, it's kind of going to really show you exactly who they are on the inside.
We say,
in that case, keep ranting.
Let us know who you are in that instance, all right?
Facebook feels like it's just you and the keyboard, and you can just spill out your deepest, darkest thoughts because you are doing it in private.
It's like the chafing dish in Scientology.
In the lobby.
In the lobby of Scientology.
So when you come in to get your e-meter reading,
you go into the chafing dish and you just explain, apparently, all of you tell your deepest, darkest secrets. What people don't know or didn't know is that there was a microphone in there recording everything. People
a recording
like,
device.
All the terrible things that you've ever done in your life, you tell the dish. And you're basically
How is there not that chafing dish with a recording device in it at Williams-Sonoma?
That would be great. The recording chafing dish at Williams-Sonoma.
Record your friends, hear what they're having to say about
something to hold over them after Thanksgiving.
When you leave the room, we're going to go do the dishes in the other room. When you leave them
Ceramic
alone.
chafing dish, explain all your secrets there, $499. Everything at Williams-Sonoma is $500.
Even the pancake mix.
$499, but it's the best goddamn buckwheat pancakes you're ever going to have. I got a free catalog, and I just mailed them $500 because I'm like, that's what this costs.
I owe you this just for being
free
able to
catalog.
Look at your
It's $500, right? Williams-Sonoma.
Let's get back to Facebook.
It's permanent, folks. Facebook is permanente.
Comments are forever.
Thanks to screen grabs, they are.
If you have not learnt this by this point, if you've put something racist or violent or horrible on Facebook and you work anywhere but, I don't know, painting houses or a weed dispensary, you're going to go down.
You going to get got.
You going to get got.
Unless you're the secretary for a white supremacist chapter.
Right.
You gon' get got.
And that is exactly what happened to Amy Roth.
Amy Roth.
A special education middle school teacher in Louisville, Kentucky.
Special ed.
Extremely malleable minds.
Yep. Maybe rethink posting anything, Amy.
Maybe just don't do it.
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of person to teach special ed.
But not Amy Roth kind of special.
Right.
What you're
That's
saying
a different kind of special that we know.
Okay.
So you know how they say hats off to all the teachers who teach special ed?
Absolutely, man.
Well, you might want
We
to...
have friends that teach special ed. It is hard to do.
And there is a notion, there's an energy to want to say hats off to everyone who teaches it. Before you take your hat off to everyone who teaches special ed, find out what kind of person they are, and then you might want to put that hat back on.
That's right.
Yeah, Amy is the kind of person who wants you to
Put all the hats back on.
Put a hat on. Put a yarmulke on and wear it all the time for the rest of your life and never take it off.
Okay, let's go to Facebook, Jeff.
Amy got on Facebook and she was angry. Again, I liken this to like food shopping when you're hungry.
She was hangry.
You're going to make a lot of bad decisions. 3 bags of black licorice? Why do we need 3 bags of black licorice?
I was hungry. I'm sorry.
I was so hungry.
I saw him.
I was seeing things. The difference with Facebook is, of course, it lives forever and it can cost you your job, Amy. Amy decided to respond to a video of protesters in a parking lot or on a road or next to cars or whatever it was.
Why do this? Why?
And then using what one can only assume is the great judgment and the same level of judgment she
The
uses
measured
in the classroom.
nature she
Yes.
uses in her classroom.
She thought, hey, it would be a great idea to post a comment about this video. So she sees the video, it outrages her, and not only post a comment, post a violent comment that is threatening and murderous. Oh, and also a comment that is completely racist.
She basically hit the trifecta there. She knocked it out of the park.
In Amy's eloquent words, protesters near a bunch of cars, quote, full speed ahead, don't worry, they'll blend in with the pavement.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let me remind you, Amy is not being threatened by protesters at the moment of posting this comment.
Nope.
She is not strapped to a Confederate monument while she's posting this comment.
She's at home, just crushing life in a box of wine.
Kicking out the B-boy jams, right?
Full speed ahead, Jay.
In
Full
other
speed
words,
ahead.
do what the guy in Virginia did and drive into a crowd of people with the intent to murder them. Good idea, Amy.
You're like the Amy Stewart, like the
Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart of special.
We'll
ed.
call you Amy Stewart from
Amy
now on.
Stewart.
Do unto others. I
That
guess.
is so bad.
That's pretty bad. But look,
Full speed ahead is damning. If you just said full speed ahead,
then your job is in jeopardy.
I would say your job is not full speed ahead.
Right. Then she adds the gem, don't worry, they'll blend in with the pavement, which
Or
I guess-
blacktop.
Blacktop.
Because they're black.
If they're black, they will blend in with the blacktop. Translation, go kill some black people.
Right. Is there any other way to take this, Jay? I'm trying to see, is there any other way to take what she's trying to say?
I'm just saying, wow. Like, seriously, like, wow.
There is clearly, this is when you realize
There's no one in Amy's life.
overseeing. She's like an athlete. She's like Lou Williams.
She's got no one to check in with. Or worse, the person she has to check in with can't hear her because of the white hood that's on his
hard
head.
to hear what she's saying through the white hood, which kudos to her for wearing a mask, though. So then, of course,
Or him. I'm saying her husband. Okay.
when she realized it could hurt her professionally, she gave us the empty apology
Which
we were
you
expecting.
knew that was coming.
Yep.
You knew that an empty apology was on its way.
Why don't
and
you read it?
And it went like this. Looked. I don't know. Maybe she's trying to say,
Yeah.
look, I messed up, the comment reads. I said this out of anger. I am very sorry to everyone who saw this.
I said this out of anger.
That's not an excuse.
No.
That's not an excuse. I said this out of anger. It doesn't make it any better. It is not an excuse. Guys, turns out the Golden State Killer, he just did it because he was mad.
Oh,
He did it
out
let
of
him go
anger.
free, guys. He just was mad.
He did it out of anger.
He was angry at someone else, but then he did this, but it was out of anger.
I'm
So
sorry to everyone who saw this. To
That's
me,
the worst part.
To me, says I should be able to just say this on my own, and I'm just sorry that a lot of people saw this, and now I'm in trouble.
Right. Also, it hidden in that I'm sorry that everyone saw this is, oh, I'm sorry that my words made you mad.
I'm sorry I made you upset.
Like it was your decision to take a negative bent on what I said.
yeah, I'm sorry you couldn't handle seeing my words. This is someone who doesn't understand that what she did was wrong.
Right. Then her next cowardly move came when she resigned.
Yeah.
She didn't even give the school board
The pleasure of firing
because they
her.
opened up an investigation, but she didn't even give them the pleasure of firing her. Which
That's
to
how
me-
someone knows they screwed up.
right.
I'm
but
not gonna-
doesn't know why it's been blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I might as well just get out of this before it's like Jeffrey Epstein committing suicide.
Or it's like someone in the same level of Jeffrey Epstein, like someone talking at a drunk person talking
drunk
at
woman talking in a comedy show, then afterwards coming out and saying to the comedian, "Can I take a picture with you?" Even though she talked during the whole show.
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday.
No. The fact
You don't get to take a picture.
this kind of woman doesn't realize that there is a line
In a grocery store that goes back into the aisles, so she just cuts in front of everyone.
Yeah.
That's the kind of woman this is the kind of woman who never waves when she's led into traffic.
This is the kind of woman who has tripped another woman who's holding a baby at a Black Friday sale just to get to the flat screen.
The last flat screen, it's waiting there. She's
Just to get to it.
This is the kind of woman who would refuse to wear a mask in a nursing home because it makes her uncomfortable.
This is the kind of woman who would call the cops on someone at Starbucks
Because he's too tan.
yeah.
Like she doesn't know. She's like, he's on the edge, but what could it hurt to bring the cops into this
That's right.
situation?
This is the kind of person who would comment on a Facebook post with no regard for human life,
Including her own.
including her own profession or her own job. By the way, what if she was a halfway decent teacher getting through to these kids and actually working and doing, like, look what you just did. You put your thought about this in front of that. And you got what you deserved.
You got what you deserve.
You taught the kids the best lesson that no matter what you're dealing with in life, those kids are a million times better and morally correct than this person.
That's right. And just because you're angry isn't an excuse.
Nope.
That's not the reason.
And I'm sorry you have to hear us. I'm sorry for anyone.
I'm sorry
who's
if our
hearing
words make you upset.
That's right.
I'm sorry if you can't handle what we're saying.
But you better hope that unemployment. You better hope whoever you're voting for
Extends that
unemployment, because they're not going to, and that's going to screw you. You're going to have a different opinion of the world when you start applying for
Based on your own screw up. Take that, Amy Roth.
Take that to the bank. All right, there you go. First
take a
story
break.
down. Let's take a break.
Yep.
When we come back, just talking about decisions that we make
Choices.
on a regular basis. Choices, decisions. We are defined by the decisions we make, and it's true that. Here we go. This is Sklarbro Country, the Virus Edition. Stay with us. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I believe probably at this point on Monday, the live Sklarbro, Dumb People Town on August 15th at Nowhere Comedy Club with Jim Gaffigan is sold out. We may release some extra tickets. We're going to sort of talk about how we can do that.
Yes, we'll keep you posted on that, but not a lot. Only like 50 or 60 more.
Yep, exactly. So let's just do what we can. And if we can release them, we'll let you know and then sell those things out. But we'll do it again. We'll do it again in a couple months, and I'm very excited about that.
do that.
All right, should we jump into this last story? Okay, Jay.
Everything comes at a cost these days.
It does.
Decisions you make for your business, they better be long term.
The quick fix will definitely get you fixed for good. Case in point, a restaurant that felt like it didn't need to listen to the rules about reopening. I mean, you're a kitchen. You're a kitchen. You don't have to follow the rules. I mean,
Cooks don't need to wear hairnets. Come on.
It's uncomfortable for them. What if that was the thing? Let your hair dip into the eggs.
I gotta be honest with you. Washing my hands takes a lot of time.
We get it.
Do we really need to do that?
If you're a place that is serving food to people, you don't have to be extra careful. If a doctor's like, I don't want to scrub in. I washed my hands after I went to the bathroom this morning.
So annoying to scrub in. I hate it.
Check this story out. Okay. A Castle Rock restaurant that became a lightning rod in the debate over personal freedom. Don't bring personal freedom into this during the coronavirus shutdown, has closed permanently. CNC Breakfast and Korean Kitchen. And Korean Kitchen to me feels a little bit tacked on.
CNC Breakfast Factory would have made more sense.
There you go. All right.
I'd eat there.
Watch out for those huevos rancheros.
Why?
They're going to make you sweat. They're going to try and get you to grab a nut to move your butt.
Okay.
The Korean Kitchen to me sounds like a restaurant saying, my best friend is black.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
And Korean Kitchen.
I don't think it has anything to do with Koreans or Korean
Let's try to get
kitchens.
in on that Korean Kitchen people.
Well, their run just lasted 2 months,
All right.
though it remained closed for one of those after its owners defied a public health order and reopened their business during the shutdown in an effort to save it. Jesse and April Arellano late last week told customers via the restaurant's Facebook page, again, I'm sure they've commented on their fair share of protests on this thing.
Photos. Yes.
That they wouldn't renew the restaurant's lease on Trail Boss Drive after July. In a long statement, the Arellanos described the divisiveness that allowed their decision to open in-person dining on Mother's Day. Mother's Day. This is May, Jay.
Right. This is when I guess it was kind of on the tail end of the.
I think restaurants were ordered to close in Colorado. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, guess what we got you for Mother's Day, Mom?
What's that?
Coronavirus.
Oh, sweetie, I already have it.
They also decreed that what they considered to be personal attacks by the Colorado government, Jared Polis, they decreed what they thought were personal attacks by Jared Polis against their small business.
You mean when he said you can't be open?
And you still opened up anyway? Is that the personal decree against you guys?
Personal attacks by the
I
government?
was asked what I would say to him. I would say, quote, for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Mark 8:36. Who is that
always good
for?
First of all, always good to quote the Bible in our modern day argument.
Yes, it lets people know what they're dealing with,
Right.
so that they can work on that.
Look, if Reverend Dr. Christopher Stackhouse quotes the Bible,
You listen
go,
to that,
all
dude.
right, he's going to make an analogy that's going to make sense.
If the owner of a restaurant that opened its doors on Mother's Day when they were told not to do that and put their own feelings...
Let's
and
bring
stuff-
the Bible into the... Well, okay, now you're hiding behind the Bible. You're not actually drawing a parallel to the Bible.
I still don't understand the quote. Who in their quote, who is gaining the
Say
world?
the quote again, because I want to hear it.
Who is gaining
For
the
what
world?
will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul?
So who's gaining the world? Is the governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, is he gaining the world
By making businesses have to
closed
shut down
just
and making
to protect
people
their
angry?
citizens? Is that guy gaining the world? I mean, if you ask him, it's probably killing his soul to have to do that to the business, but it's the right thing to do. I would say that's more Jesus-like as a Jew. That's more Jesus-like than it.
To acknowledge a sacrifice
And make the hard choice
to take the hit personally and emotionally for the greater good of humankind.
Jesus would shut down the businesses 10 times out of 10 because he cared about people.
Now, Jesus could also make one loaf of bread
Last for a long time,
but
but
that's a different thing.
Jesse Arellano wrote, the hypocrisy of the lockdowns was disappointing as big businesses were not scrutinized like small businesses were. Cheesecake Factory was closed too.
That's right. They weren't
Cheesecake
open.
Factory was closed
I
too.
mean, fine. Fast food restaurants,
Drive-thrus.
drive-throughs were kept open, but you can't eat you could so you can't eat inside.
But-
just like you guys could have delivered your food to go.
So they closed their Castle Rock location but kept their Colorado Springs location open because Colorado Springs,
If we know anything about Colorado Springs, the joke we used to say in our act when
it's like there was a beer festival in
Denver, which we said
Denver's a weed town.
it's become a weed town.
You can't have a beer festival in Denver. It doesn't
Having a beer festival in a weed town is like having a book festival in Colorado Springs.
It doesn't make sense. Unless, of course, you're talking about the good book.
In which case, then maybe that's the one book.
So they kept the Colorado Springs location. It's just insane.
Here's a so a photo of the CNC's
Crowded Mother's Day
dining room
Crowded.
surfaced on social media, and the governor's office and state health officials, of course, responded swiftly.
Okay, so someone posted a picture of a packed dining room. In other words, they weren't even like practicing social distancing. If you're going to open up the restaurant, have the tables 6 feet apart. Have the waiters and waitresses wearing masks and shields. Put up plexiglass. Nope, couldn't do
They
any of
got
that.
greedy.
things.
They got greedy, and they didn't want to do the work to try and at least if they tried to distance the tables, at least if they tried to put everyone,
They could
in
make
masks,
a case.
They could make a case and say, "Look, hey, we understand what you're trying to do. We're trying to keep our business afloat. Look at all the practices we're putting in ahead
That's
of
right.
the curve. We're trying to keep people safe if they're going to be inside of it." But no,
So they did the one thing that they could do. They announced that they were suing the governor, as well as other state entities for forcing the close. Nothing frivolous about that lawsuit.
yeah, their lawsuit blamed Governor Polis and the state of Colorado and the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, the Tri-County Health Department, and Executive Director of the CDPHE, Jill Hunsaker Ryan,
Hunsaker.
Ryan, for depriving them of their livelihood. They got singled out for this.
Why does the government only hate us? Or you mean everybody who
Hey,
had to shut this down?
you're not the only ones who are affected by this virus.
We are all suffering. That's the news right
every
now.
every restaurant is suffering.
The ones that are surviving, you know what they're doing? They're reaching out to their supporters and offering to bring food to them.
Turn all your waiters and waitresses into drivers.
Hire strippers and turn them into food delivery people.
Make special quarantine meals for your customers. Deliver them something for free. Let them know you're still in business.
Create a food truck and drive it around and give people free coffee.
Find out the neighborhoods where most of your customers are from and drive a food truck around. Give them free coffee.
Encourage them to sit in their driveways and treat it like, and walk by and have waiters and waitresses come by and do it that way. Just do something cool like
You
that.
have so many options. And it's so funny to me, Rand, because we think about all the things that we've done. Look, we've lost 75% of our business. That's a fact.
Yep.
We've lost all that. We've lost that money. We've lost that business. We've lost what we've got.
That's right.
We've forced ourselves to get creative. And no, every single thing we're doing doesn't immediately equal the same amount of money and we're suddenly back up where we are. But you never know what you're going to be doing. So this could be one of two things happening for you as a business right now.
You could come up with a new way for your business to exist in times like these.
So when this time is over, hey, you know what? The coffee truck worked.
Yeah.
Let's keep the coffee truck and the breakfast
Isn't that
truck.
crazy that you know,
Two comedians sitting here on a couch are suddenly coming up with ideas for you for your business. And this is in a
necessity is
10-minute
necessity is the mother of invention.
That's right. So here we are in this moment. This is a moment where, yes, obviously it sucks, and we know what it's like to own a business. Our business is ourselves. We've been forced to get creative to try to find new ways. If we can do it, why can't you?
So she said on a Facebook post, April said that the restaurant would go out of business if I don't do something. If I lose the business, at least I'm fighting. Fighting who?
Fighting for what and fighting whom?
The people who are trying to keep you and your customers from dying? I don't really understand understand it. Believe me, no one is trying to make you go under. Nobody's
trying to take you down.
We choose to
No one wants
trust.
to fight you.
Quote, we choose to trust God in everything we do. Did God tell you to file the lawsuit?
I guess maybe God was telling him.
He's the world's greatest arbitrator, God.
That's right.
I mean, talk to Moses, all right?
They want to trust in God and everything they do, not in government, not in fear, not in hate. Seems like the only one who's choosing hate right now is you, April.
Yeah, they wrote on Saturday on Facebook, when hard times come, you see who your true friends are, the ones that stick with you, the ones that don't just go with popular opinion. What's the popular opinion? That people need to be made safe? That's a pretty good popular opinion.
Also, I don't think that's a very popular opinion. People aren't happy about it. Maybe it's the populist opinion. Maybe that's what. Look, I just heard this today on another podcast, and I love this sentiment. Okay, in retrospect, if things get better quickly, then precautionary actions will seem like overreactions.
Yeah, great.
What's the harm?
Who cares?
Yes, I know it's affecting your business, and you're trying to.
You'll
make ends
bounce
meet.
back, and hopefully you will bounce back. Are the enemies people who got sick? They said they made friends and they made enemies. Are those the enemies?
You've made a lot of friends. We have a lot of enemies. Are the enemies who people got sick who got on Mother's Day at your restaurant or beyond?
Just all we're saying.
Plexiglass between the booths. That's all you need to do.
And the government may even work with you. I'm sure the Golden Corral is fighting this whole social distancing thing
Tooth and nail. The chocolate waterfall.
They want people fighting over that.
Wonderful.
They want people fighting over that last piece of Texas toast. It makes it seem more desirable. And if they fight, that's dinner entertainment. They want an old lady to whack a kid with her walker so hard that half of her tennis ball flies all over into the garbanzo beans.
Do you think, Rand, that the chocolate wonderfall is going to be a thing of the past?
I do.
Does that die because
not
of-
at Golden Corral? It isn't.
No, but like that's something that I feel
Like working at our offices.
Yeah.
That's a thing in the past.
That might
Sexual
have-
harassment.
thing of the past.
It's something that like we can jettison from daily life, but in certain pockets of society, it will be there.
Systemic racism.
It's the
that's gonna hang
chocolate
around.
Wonderfall is the symbol for all of these things.
Yes.
If you see a chocolate Wonderfall at Golden Corral,
is a harbinger.
it's basically like a Confederate statue.
It's
And
a
I think-
canary in the Confederate coal mine.
I think all chocolate Wonderfalls should be coming out of like a bayonet of Robert E. Lee.
yes.
Right?
Done.
That's how we do it.
Finished.
That's a show, guys. We started this week. We're back into another week. We're doing Jenny Craig. We're on diets. We're hungry all the time. We're trying to make comedy for you. This is how we do. Join us on TikTok at Sklar Brothers. Go to the YouTube page. Subscribe.
Check out Eventbrite. See if there are any tickets that we've re-released to Dumb People Town live on August 15th.
And we love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.